Hi guys, welcome back to episode 9 of the GenZ podcast with me, Danica Townsend. So today I've actually got a collab which I'm really excited for. The girls from Minutes in Melanin are here. Welcome.
Hi.
Introduce yourselves.
Okay, so
my name's Tapiwa.
and I'm Brittany, and together we are Minutes in Melanin.
Well, 2/3 of Minutes in Melanin.
Yeah. And yeah, we're really excited to be here today. Minutes in Melanin is kind of just like our podcast, and it's mostly just about like forging a space for like Black women to like have a space where they can. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I think we started Minutes in Melanin kind of just like Brittany said, to like create a space for like Black women and their narratives and their perspectives, and just kind of like for us to kind of give, for us as Black women and for other Black women to give their takes on like social issues or just like whatever may be going on, like just like on the TL or just like anything, just kind of like to just like empower other young Black women to kind of like take back, kind of like claim their voice in conversations type thing. But yeah, I don't really know what else to.
Yeah, I think that's.
No, I've got to say that I absolutely love it. I love it so much. Like, I love hearing like Black women talk and sounding educated and like not pushing this like, you know, the other narrative that people try to push.
Yeah.
It's like a really good balance that I really like to see. So let's get into the first topic of the week. I wanted to talk about the whole Fredo incident. So if you don't know what happened, Fredo's a rapper, and he posted that he's having issues with his baby mom. Then he said, that's why I should only go for white girls. Now, what's your opinions on this?
I think with the whole baby mum thing, first of all, I think like it's crazy how, to me, it seems like I just don't understand why you get on the internet and trash like the mother of your children
This is what
so
I'm
openly,
saying.
and I don't understand why like that's cool, because I saw his tweet about like, oh, my baby mum's a demon, and everyone underneath it was agreeing with him and saying, oh, blah 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 blah, and I was just like, what kind of man is like tweeting about his baby mum? Like, she won't let him see his child basically because he just went on like this lad's holiday with a bunch of girls. Exactly. Like, I'm sorry, if I had a small child who I was like the main carer of, and my baby dad is out partying in the middle of a pandemic while I'm at home with our baby, when you come back, it's not gonna, you can't. First of all, safety reasons, you can't be coming in. But also, what is your idea of like fatherhood? Like that you just come in when you're ready.
When it's ready
you
for
go
you.
when you're like.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. But I think he's adding to what people often say, like Black women are normally like bitter baby mothers, and I just don't enjoy hearing that.
No.
What do you think, Sophia?
No, I agree. Like, I feel like it was such an unnecessary comment. Like, I feel like it's one thing to like have a disagreement or like have an argument with your baby mother, but then to kind of like bring it to the TL and kind of like, I don't know, like I just feel like it's just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of icky to me. Like, I don't get why you would bring your business, like, I don't know. And also like there's no correlation between, I don't see the correlation between whatever situation he's having and then also talking about white girls or bringing in the whole, like, it's like, white girls wouldn't do me like that. I don't know, but
this is what I'm saying, like painting the picture like white women are the saviour, like if I was with a white woman this would never happen. Like, everybody's different, not all Black women are going to be, and from what I see, she's being a sensible mother. He's literally came off this big holiday, even the government was advising you like to quarantine, so for her to say, look, I don't want you to see my child until, well, our child until, do you know what I mean? I feel like that's reasonable,
honestly. And it's like this thing of, I feel like we have this like, where, especially with rappers, there's always a discussion of like who their partners is, if they're Black women, if they're white women, if they're light skin, dark skin, etc. But it just proves that like it takes more than like it takes more than men being attracted to you for them to respect you.
Yes.
Like, it's so clear that like he doesn't respect her like as a woman, and it's just a thing of like, there are loads of Black guys who like partner Black women who don't like Black women, because I don't know how you could come on the internet and like your daughter is like a Black she's a black woman, and you're
Exactly.
gonna say on the internet that, oh, a white girl would never do me like this. Like, I don't get how that adds
and
up.
it was so normal to him, because then I don't know if you have seen his apology, but he sounded quite sincere. But like, it literally was so normal for him to just sit there and tweet it. Like, it was like second nature to him, and then he had to sit back and think about it and be like, oh, okay, this wasn't correct.
No.
And I just don't understand. Like, I feel like it's constantly being black women who has to be attacked. Like,
honestly, and it's like, I feel like there are little repercussions to it, because I feel like this will happen one day. Fredo will be like saying, oh, I need a white girl, da da da, and then he releases music and he's top of the charts. Or like, people like, they're very easy to like either forget and forgive when it's like people are attacking black women. And it's like, it's hurtful to see, one thing, but then it's also just like angering and annoying. And just like frustrating, because you know that like he says this and people will be upset for a minute, but then after it, like, people forgive him just really easy.
There's black women being angry again about something.
No, yeah.
Like, this is an actual, because the other day when I did see him on the boat with Dave and stuff, I seen a lot of people getting angry because there was no like darker skinned women there.
Yeah.
But then I'm not gonna lie, I sat down and said, if that's the women that he decided to go on the boat with, I'm not forcing for him to just put a black girl there. Well, a dark skinned girl there just to be there. If that's not what he wants to be with, let him do what he's doing. And like, so now I didn't really get the outrage about that, but this, I feel like there should be a little bit of outrage, because he's clearly he's actually went out of his way to disrespect to black women.
Yeah,
I feel like the two are kind of interlinked in that, like, they obviously like have preference for lighter skinned women, and so like, I don't know, like, I feel like with the boat thing, I have an issue, not like a personal issue, but I have an issue with, as a dark-skinned black man, you excluding, I have an issue with the preference thing, because I feel like it's rooted in, like, I feel like you need to address that in yourself. Like, preference is never just preference, especially if you're like being completely exclusionary and like you're completely just like, you don't you know, like mess with dark skinned women, you don't want to party with them, you don't want to take them anywhere, because then like there's a lot of stupid boys out there that will see Dave and see Fredo like partying with light skinned girls, and in their head it's like, oh, that's how you know, like, that's what makes you like a bad, like, you know what, like you know, lighties only, like, you know, when I get to that level it's only going to be lighties and whatever. And it's just like, I feel like I don't understand why. Do you know what I mean? Like, preference can be preference, but then I don't know, like, it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like, why? I don't know, like, why?
Yeah, there's a deep, and I think my issue with Dave was because I'm like a fan of Dave.
Yeah,
he's always preaching this black power stuff.
That's the thing.
He is like literally the forefront of it in the UK, and then like his actions never show that he's actively for black power.
I feel like black men are for black men to an like a lot of black men, they understand black liberation as like a purely male thing, and they don't show up for black women in the same ways, or they think, oh, like, oh, you guys are like being bitter, or you're overreacting, or it's not that deep,
or just because she's prettier than you.
Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of just like, I feel like there needs to be a conversation into like, you can't, I mean, if we're like, you can't be, you know, anti-racism and then be also anti-black women. Like, you can't, you know what I mean? Like, they all, hating black women like hurts you as well, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I do 100% agree, because a lot of black men, and I never really looked at it like that, Dave, he's there for black men. He's there for like the black men, but as soon as it comes to the person who actually wants to bring children in the world with, or like the person who when he's 17 might want to be with, it's not actually a black woman. So how much are you for black people?
For it. And I feel like every time we have this conversation, Tapia's right, and you're right to say that, like, people love to say, you guys are being bitter, you guys are being like, it's a lot of gaslighting to the conversation. And it's like, I noticed like a lot of dark-skinned girls, like, they want to come out and they want to be like, oh, you know, we don't care, because you recognise that in saying something, people are going to be like, oh, you're bitter. But I feel like it should be talked about. Like, me personally, I can't understand how you're like this pro-black like icon in British music, in the Black British music scene, and you can't be seen anywhere with a dark-skinned woman. And to people's right, maybe that is your preference, and maybe your preference is light-skinned women and white women and racially ambiguous women, but you have to interrogate that. You can't just say that that's your preference, deal with it, that's my preference, like whatever, because your preferences are always rooted in something. And like the same anti-blackness that you're trying to challenge when it comes to like police brutality or the British government and the way that they treat like black people, you need to challenge that anti-blackness when it comes to like what you find desirable.
Yeah, I do think that could have a lot of change in it as well, because it's like, I want to be anti-black, but it's okay. Like my brother said once, you can't be anti-black and sleep white or something. So. You can't talk black and sleep white, and that's what all these people are trying to do. And then like as soon as somebody says, well, actually I don't want my child to see this, or I don't feel comfortable hearing this by people that we look up to, it's like, oh, you're being bitter. Black women always have a thing to say and they need to just chill out. But like when we're being attacked, it's never like, oh, cancel him. Like it's sort of like everybody build a bridge and get over it. Me actively now, when I see Fredo, even though he's apologised, I'll be like, he's not for me. He doesn't want to celebrate me. He, like, that man there isn't for the progression of black men, people. Full stop. So, slightly moving on. I did want to talk about this whole Saweetie. Is it Saweetie? I think so. Saweetie and Quavos have broken up. Now, I've been waiting to talk about this because I have been wanting to talk about it, because it's happened with Sasha and Krept when they broke up, and now Saweetie and Quavos broke up. The angle I want to come at it as, like, on Valentine's Day, I'm sure you all seen, you practically could have swam in those flowers that were on the floor, and they look like the happiest couple, but then now she comes out saying, oh, I've been mentally gone out of the relationship for this long. Same thing with Sasha and Krept, and it's kind of like, you see, Instagram's fake, people.
Now, like, I feel like appearances, I don't know, I feel like it's really easy to get swept up in social media, but also it's like that is our only access to celebrities, so it's really easy to see what they show you and think that that's like the whole story, because that's all we got to take from it. So I was shocked when these like Sasha and Krept and Saweetie and Quavos broke up, but I don't know, I think it's sad, but I think it's like any relationship, but because I feel like people do only like are happy only to show when they're super happy or when they're being treated well. Like she was never gonna give platform to the fact that he was like cheating on her, like no. So it's crazy, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's just the world of social media and celebrity.
Oh, it's quite jarring to see, because with that, I always find the couples who are actually relationship goals, you don't even know that they're a couple.
No.
Like, they just live, but, you know what I mean? They live their life and that's how it is. But couples who actually actively try and show that they love their girlfriend way more, buying her an iced out Bentley with icy on the back, like all it is just like, okay, you take this, show the world that we love each other, but realistically we all know this don't work. And aren't you not embarrassed, like knowing that you're in an unstable relationship but making out to the world that you
know what it is? I feel like there's a thing of like with women, particularly like women who like go like straight women, I feel like it's a thing of it's better to, or that we have this idea that I feel like we need to unlearn, that it's better to be unhappy and be partnered than it is to be single. And so like I feel like when it comes to women, like we have that thrown at us all the time, like people love to like cuss women and use them being single as like a diss. So I feel like I can understand why you would, like, a woman would be so willing to like keep her relationship going and make it seem like she's in a perfect relationship rather than walk away. I think it's sad, but I feel like that's kind of like the reality of like, because I don't know, I feel like I understand it. I wouldn't want to be in that position just because
Carry on.
okay. I wouldn't want to be in that position just because no one wants to be cheated on, but I feel like I understand trying to make it work behind closed doors and also make it seem like you're having this amazing, beautiful 100% relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I don't see it necessarily as like purpose, like on purpose, like in the sense of, I feel like obviously no one really knows what happened in their relationship, but I feel like she said that she'd mentally checked out for a long time, and obviously he's been messing up, and maybe every time he messes up he like gets her something or whatever. And I feel like sometimes when you love someone and they mess up, you kind of want to make it work. And I don't think her posting is necessarily trying to like keep up a front necessarily. Like maybe she just like, I don't know, like it's different. Like it's like a normal person could like get like a gift and like post it, and it's not as big of a deal, but because she obviously has so many people watching, it's kind of like, oh, you did it because people are watching. When, do you know what I mean? I don't know, like maybe I'm trying to like
humanize her.
I don't know. Yeah, because I feel like I get well, I don't know, I was really shocked as well, to be honest. Like I didn't think he'd be doing that to her at all, and especially how she's saying like she's been checked out for a while and Valentine's Day wasn't so long ago. But I don't know, maybe it is partly image, because obviously she's got this whole icy girl image, and like, you know, I feel like when you're in the rap industry as a woman, you kind of have to have this whole like, no one like Cardi B, like
a bad beat image.
I'll cut you off, blah blah blah. No one does that to me. Look at my man, he's giving me gifts because I don't know, I know how to ask for stuff and I get it, blah blah blah. So I don't know if it's like partly that, but I don't know, like if you wanna, I feel like, so like I don't know, not to be like, I don't know, like if he wants, why would she say no to the stuff?
Yeah, I do understand.
I don't know, like, okay, yeah, you cheated on me and I've checked out, but you want to buy me a car? Okay, like I'm not gonna say no. Yeah. I don't know, maybe I'm being.
Nah, I definitely understand that, because like, why would you decline the gifts? But I think to younger people, they look at that and they're like, oh my gosh, they really love each other. Like they aspire to have a relationship like that. Like, you know, you hear it all the time, relationship goals, but then we're always going to be disappointing these young people because they actually don't have a solid foundation of a relationship. I feel like nowadays it's just like, you know what, I'm a rapper, he's a rapper, we look cute, and then, do you know what I mean, just make everything look as poppy show as possible. But like, I think the sort of things that we should be looking up to is people who are like just like solid together. Like Ice Cube and his wife, I don't see them coupled up or anything, but when I hear him talk about her and just his actions towards her, it makes me think that man loves his woman, and I don't see it. I don't see what he done for Valentine's Day for her. I don't know. And I just think all these people who are just trying to do the most and try and make other people feel bad for being single, it's like...
Do you think it's a money flex or like a love flex? Because I feel like, to me, personally, I don't look at what Quavo did and think, oh, like that their relationship goals, just because it's like, he's rich, like why wouldn't he do that? In my opinion, I'm kind of like, if it was like some guy who works 9 to 5 and he did that, I would cry, because it's like, you work so hard to do that for me, but it's like, he can afford to do that, so it's not as deep or it's not as meaningful in my eyes. Like, I feel like Quavo did that so other guys can be like, oh, look what he did for his girl, or like, look what he bought his girl. Like, you know, he's got it like that. Like, he can do that for his girl, because I feel like it's a stunt for him just as much as it's a stunt for her, if that makes sense.
That makes 100% sense.
So I don't really know if it's per se like, I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Like whether they're showing off the love or whether they're showing off the money.
I don't think it means you love each other. I think it just means you've got it like that, and you can afford to spend that much money on someone else. I think
like same thing that you were saying, like Saweetie's image buys into that, like icy girl, I have this man icing me out. Like I feel like they are helping each other with their image, but I don't know, because to some people gifts do translate to love, but at the same time, if she's saying that like his gifts were apologies, then
I feel like gifts can translate to love if they're meaningful, or if it's like a lot of effort has gone into like getting the gift for me.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, I don't know, like I feel like if you're like a millionaire
and you get me a car,
this is what I'm saying.
Like I don't care. I mean, I care, but like
a millionaire, I always thought that their time equates like is worth more than their money. So like, say if a millionaire would be like, let's go fly out for 2 weeks. It's just me and you's attention for 2 weeks. That's how like I would be like, oh my gosh, this guy loves me. But he could buy me like a G-Wagon, and realistically to him, that's like nothing. So you really have to think, is all of this, the money is not for love. It's not. No. It is more of a flex, like, oh, I'm a man, I've got money, look what I can do at the drop of the hat for my girl.
What I don't get is like, I don't know, like I don't get how you can, like, let's say, I don't know, bring a different example into it. I don't know if you like heard or like Kaylani, she used to date YG. And like last year he did this amazing thing for her for Valentine's Day, filled her whole house with roses, and like it was all sweet and everything. And I think that night she went through his phone and found something out, and like they broke up or whatever. And I don't get guys who they do all of that, like they do like not even like a I'm sorry thing, but like before you even know, like they do all of that, they're like putting in effort or like trying to like express that they love you, but at the same time
still like giving you fun in the background.
I don't get that. Like that's what I don't understand, because it's like, if you feel this way toward me to the point where, I guess maybe it's different with rich men because they can, I mean, they have the money and it's convenient for them to do stuff like that. But like I just feel like I don't know. Maybe
like putting effort in when you know that you're being a dog.
Yeah, like how can you
maybe it deflects from it, so it's kind of like, look, don't look over here where I'm doing my dirt. Look at this new car I bought, be happy with that. And like the woman can ignore the cheating, because it's like, yeah, he cheated on me, but he cheated on me, he done this, but... So it's a lot of like compensating. But I do think a lot of rappers in particular, they're embarrassing their girlfriends. That's where I see it from. I would be like, if I was Cardi B and everybody knows that I'm with Offset, everybody knows that. And then this other girl has access to my man. Like the disrespecting that alone, me personally, I couldn't take it.
No, honestly, I think that's the one thing. Like I feel like on a day-to-day, I had to let go of, like, I feel like before I was like a little bit more grown, I used to have like this low-key like internalized misogyny where I used to like judge women who took back their cheating partners. And I feel like I've kind of let that go now. Like I understand, ish. I feel like I'm a lot less judgmental of women who take back their cheating partners. But the one thing I cannot understand with celebrity women who do it is just, I feel like public embarrassment for me personally is one of the worst things you could ever do to me. Like I feel like it's the fact that not only are you like disrespecting me and breaking my trust in this big way, but you're doing it openly in front of people. You're allowing people to clown me. You're allowing some girl to think that she has one up on me. Like all of it is too, like that, plus the fact that you've done this in front of so many people now have an opinion. Like all of that would be too much for me to deal with. And I feel like, I don't know, because I feel like cheating is so normalized within, like, especially for men, to the extent where like if your boyfriend is cheating on you as a celebrity woman, people are more likely to clown you than they are to cuss him.
Like you can't even hold your man down. Like this and that, your man's looking other ways. Like, cheating. Do you think it's better then to keep your relationship completely off socials then?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, to an extent. Obviously, like I feel like, not like keep it secret, but maybe private. I don't know. I feel like it's easier to, the idea of me not posting about it and then something bad happening, and it's not like I have to like explain, or like no one will notice because I wasn't posting anything anyway. Like I like the fact that like it's like no one knew, so it's like it's like I don't know, like, I can just do it by myself.
Only your three friends.
I don't know. I feel like I like to be celebrated, so and I feel like I like to be shown off in that way. So I love like this conversation of like private versus like keeping something a secret. But I'm of the opinion like because to me, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. So, like, I'm not really preempting disaster or anything. So I get confused when guys are like, oh, we need to keep it private. We need to keep it off social. Because, like, what are you doing that means, like...
Who cares?
Yeah, like... But also, I get that, like, social media comes with a lot of problems. And also, like, I get people saying, like, imagine, like, posting a man and he embarrasses you. You now have to, like... either take it down and people are going to be like, oh, what's going on? Or people are expecting some type of explanation from you from something that is, like, deeply personal and private in your life. Like, I don't know. If I was a celebrity, I think I would opt to keep my relationship private just because it seems like a lot less drama.
It does. I feel like as soon as you say you're in a relationship, like, this is... a celebrity.
Yeah.
It's like, I can imagine somebody's looking to ruin it.
Yeah.
So there is, like, really bad mind people out there, like girls like, how did she get him? Like, he will look at, you know what I'm saying? But for me, I think, you know what? I think the same thing about kids as well. Who cares about my life that much? That's the way I see it. Like, why do I need to reveal to the world I've got a man? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So, like, say if I'm on holiday and he so happens to be in the picture or something, that will be posted.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm never going to go out of my way to, like, post my man, like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky, like, no. And one thing I do not like, and I'm so sorry for you that I've ever done this, but you know, like, the whole blurring over his face as well. Like, sis, if you didn't want to show him,
don't show him,
crop him out the picture or don't show him, like, at all.
No, I think
No.
I don't know, I feel like that's being too extra. It's like, I have a man, but I don't want to show you, but I need to show you that I have a man. It's like, it's either you want the world to be invested in your relationship or you don't.
It's kind of like a thing of like, wow, look, I've got a man.
Yeah, so it's kind of just like, if you want to keep him private, there are ways to show that you have a boyfriend or that you're not single that aren't posting him and that also aren't blurring his face out in every picture.
I feel like it's a thing. I feel like when I feel like I get, like, when you're younger, like, it's kind of exciting or something and you want to post it, or like, I don't know, like, I feel like I don't, like, is it really, I don't know, like, is having a man really that
deep,
like, to post? I don't know. Like, me personally, I think like, you're right. Like, I feel like unless it's going, like, on my private story or something, or on, like, my Finsta, I really don't see myself posting it like a picture. But then it's like, I don't know, like, you could take a cute picture and it's like, oh, this is cute. Like, you could take a picture of your friends and post it. Like, I feel like I should be able to take a picture and post it with my man the same way I could take a picture of my friends and post it. It just depends. But I think the blurring out thing is just so stupid. It's like, it's either it's private or it's public. Like, you can't, like, it's so silly. And also, like, I feel like, what man is like why is he okay with this himself?
Why is he okay with his face? Like, show who paid for the date. Show, like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Show the man. And, like, somebody's gonna recognise him, because like, I look at it like this as well. Birmingham's kind of small, so, like, if somebody's blurred out their face of their man, I can add two to together and be like, oh, she's going to swear. Like, it's not that like deep. And I feel like if I done it, especially how much I preach how I don't like it, everybody would be like, Danica, like, just, and I think I come from a very blunt family as well, so everybody would be like, are you trying to show off that you've got a man? Like, just tell people that you've got a man without saying you've got a man. Like, but yeah, that is proper irritating. What else do I have on this list? One moment, guys. I really want to talk about this. So, do you think Cardi B is a bad representation for women, period? Not black women, not just women in a whole.
No, I don't think so.
I love some Cardi B. I feel like, go on.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, I feel like sometimes I'm someone who, like, sometimes I have, like, just a few weeks ago, in fact, I was having this thing where I was, like, talking to Britt about just, like, how come up to me is, like, so, like, I rate it so much. I think she's, like, a really resilient woman, just because I feel like, I don't know, for me, her story is like, you never know when your luck's going to change or when you're going to blow, when your hard work is going to become fruitful. Because I feel like I remember, like, when she first started rapping, and even me, I think I was like in year 12 or something, I was like, who wants to listen to Cardi B? My friends went to a Cardi B concert in Birmingham, and I was like, I don't want to go. They're like, do you want to come? And I was like, no. And then it just took Bodak Yellow, and it's like, everything changed for her. Like, she's only really been like popping for like 3-4 years type
2017.
thing. Yeah, like it hasn't even been that long. But like, I don't know, like I know a lot of people have a lot to say about women who like are sex workers, or like women who strip, or like just her whole like sexualized image. But like, I don't know, I think sex workers are like really resilient people. I feel like I can't imagine what you have to go through or what you experience doing that. And I feel like she really got it out the mud. Like, you see a lot of people talking about getting out the mud, and really they're like doing, I don't know, like I feel like it's like I respect that grind. I respect her grind. I don't see anything wrong with it, because I feel like at the end of the day, whether you're like showing your body or whether you're not, like if men want to hate you, they're gonna hate you. If people don't want to respect you, they're gonna disrespect you. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. Like Brittany always says, like, you can't, like, this idea of having to like perform being a good woman is just like, it's pointless, because it's like if someone hates women, or they like, you know what I mean, like if
I have to perform being a modest, quiet, respectful woman in order for you to respect me, you're not someone whose respect I want to have. I want, like, it's like this conversation people always have about like about like this whole conversation, you can't like be ran through and expect someone to like take you serious. And it's just a thing of like, I would like to, the man I envision myself with will respect me if I'm Virgin Mary, or if I've been with so many people, because I feel like you shouldn't respect me based on like my sexual like history. So then I love me some Cardi B, just because I feel like there's a lot that you can critique Cardi B with, like some of like her past things that she said in the past, and like even some of her stances now with like her money and how she values it over anything. But I like Cardi B just because I feel like she's unapologetic in who she is, and she's like, yeah, I'm a stripper, I'm ghetto, I'm loud, and that doesn't mean anything. And like I love it, because I feel like, I know a lot of people like to say that like, oh, she's like a bad image for women, or people shouldn't look up to her. I aspire to be a woman who gives no shits about anything the way that Cardi B does. Yeah. Because I feel like that is how you get to, and because I feel like being your authentic self doesn't always have to look like a Cardi B, doesn't always have to look like being loud and ghetto and sexually liberated. Like, being your authentic self can be being modest and quiet and like whatever, but it's about doing what you want to do and not what everyone thinks a good woman looks like. Yeah.
You see, I 100% agree with everything you have just said, but I just don't feel like it's an equal playing field when it does come to black women. Because if you look into like the white like pop music industry, you have people like Taylor Swift, you have people like Madonna, who's like Cardi B, who's kissing women on stages, you have like Adele's, you have like a really nice wide range. And I think in today, the ones that are pushed forward are always the over-sexualized ones, and it kind of makes like it like, that's what black women are, like they're just these really over-sexual beings. So like, I'm very happy that she's made it and she's done this, but if you think about it, the people who are striving today are people like Megan Thee Stallion. I don't think I've ever seen her in a full trouser. I like Megan Thee Stallion, City Girls, and it's just like, I feel like that's not just what black women are. No, and like when there is bigger women, like women coming up who are just normal, like I like Ari Lennox, like just normal women, they're not pushed as much as like.
No, I agree. I feel like that's less them and more society and what society wants to buy into. I feel like sex sells, like black or white. People are always going to tune into that, and I guess like black women are already like hypersexualized, so it's kind of like, I don't know, but it's a thing of like, I don't know, like I feel like we've kind of, I don't know, it's a thing of like, if you want to make it, maybe it's a thing where you kind of just have to like trade that off and like have a more sexualized image. But I think it also depends on the genre you're in, because I feel like Ari Lennox, or like even, I don't think of someone else who's black that I listen to.
I like Jasmine Sullivan.
Yeah, like that's a different like aesthetic and a different vibe. So maybe it's just like I don't know if it's just a rap thing. I'm trying to think of woman who raps
like Nicki Minaj. Yeah, I used to be the biggest barb. Yeah. Fun fact about me, I love Nicki Minaj. Yeah, and she used to be like she used to be like one of them like men like in Young Money, like, and then soon as she started to sort of like over sexualize herself, that's when she did start to tell. So I think you're right where you say like it's not really a them problem, it's society. Like why is that what we all want to see from women?
I think it's like a thing of I think because of the ideas that we have like with women in sex, we see like women who embrace their sexuality and we think, oh, they're breaking boundaries and they're doing this and it's such a good thing. But then you're right in the sense of like, is it really breaking boundaries if like you're still confined to that? Like that's all you can do to be seen. And I think that like because I feel like we have had this conversation before where we talked about like, is it liberation if like you have to sell sex in order to make it? Because that might not necessarily be what every woman wants to do. And like you're right, when you compare like the career trajectory of like an Ari Lennox compared to say like a Meg Thee Stallion or Cardi B, it is different. And to some degree I feel like it is because Cardi and Meg are more comfortable in embracing like this sexually liberated or just like a bit more sexual image. But also I feel like, yeah, I agree with Tapiwa in that I don't think that's our fault as black women. I kind of think of like, to get ahead, you're going to do what you need to do to get ahead. And I feel like maybe some people are more comfortable doing what they need to do to get ahead than others. Or maybe that's more in line with like what they want to do. But it's a thing of like, we should point fault at like people for putting black women in this box that says you can only get big if you look a certain way, if you act a certain way, instead of like just embracing black women with talent.
You're completely right, because like on last week's show I was talking about like objectifying women, like how I don't like people looking at women and just objectifying them for their bodies. And it's kind of like, but if that's all people are seeing, like like me, I like music, so I'll be in my house with my family and I'll be just flicking through music videos. Honestly, songs that I like, I can't show half of the videos. Half the videos are so inappropriate. I can't put in front of my nephew the other day was like, Danica, this is really inappropriate. Like he like half of the time I'm putting on music, he has to cover his eyes. Bless him. He's only 6, and it's like, why is that? Like and then I see people like SZA, and I love SZA because she's very sexual as well, but you can see that there's more to her. And I can understand why my mum, for example, who's like, you know, a modest woman, she wouldn't even take the time to listen to what Cardi B has to say, but she'll take the time to listen what SZA has to say, or somebody who like can carry themselves.
I think that the reason why I don't necessarily like have an issue with like women who like sexualize themselves for views or anything is because I feel like this conversation of like how can men respect us if we don't respect ourselves kind of thing. I feel like that you can't appeal to someone who is already like dead set on like dehumanizing you and seeing you as an object anyway. So I feel like men who objectify women regardless of whether they play up to this like respectable woman thing or whether they are a Cardi B or a Meg Thee Stallion. So then I just feel like not everything is for everyone kind of thing. So like maybe like your mum, for example, maybe her thing isn't Cardi B, and I feel like that's cool. Like it doesn't have to be that everything is for everyone. And I feel like Cardi B, she's found like her little her lane, her audience. And so I think when people are like, oh, to Cardi, like, oh, you know, my children can't listen to this or it's inappropriate, it's kind of thing like, that's not her lane. That's not who she's like trying to get to kind of thing.
She shouldn't be the role model for your children.
So I get how like in a day-to-day life it's kind of like frustrating because like you have to censor yourself when you're around certain people if you want to listen to Cardi B or whatever. But I also feel like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, their audience, their core like following aren't impressionable 6-year-olds. Like so that's why I don't really have an issue with it. Like I feel like if they were marketing to 6-year-olds,
but I think they
young children,
because like I think Cardi B now, I think it's actually disrespectful just to call her a rapper. She's like a pop star to me. I think she's absolutely huge. I think she's got star appeal. I love it.
Yeah.
So somebody like that, why is that? Why does Beyonce have to do like a video with Nicki Minaj half naked for her to be like a star? Like, I don't understand that. For people like to become like pop stars, black women to become pop stars, I feel like they have to like do
I think
that.
it's because of this idea that like people already have people love to celebrate black women as like sexualized objects.
Yeah.
So that's why like, I feel like people have no problem like consuming culture where we're like overtly sexual, and then I feel like, so if we're gonna say that like Beyonce or SZA or Ari Lennox are like a different lane, it takes more for people to like conceptualize black women as more than sexualized objects, I think.
Yeah.
But also I feel like because Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion and City Girls, they have agency in their situations, and to my knowledge, they're not being forced to act this way. I don't have a problem with them acting that way, kind of thing.
I see that.
I feel like kind of going on for what you said, I feel like it is kind of interesting if you think about how like I don't feel like black people can become pop stars in the same sense that white people can, if that makes sense. Or even just like like you're right, like obviously Cardi B, I would agree, like she's like huge, and even Nicki Minaj. But if you like compare to like Taylor Swift or like Dua Lipa, like I do get that they're different genres, but this idea of like mass appeal, I feel like you do have to kind of I feel like black women do kind of have to like adhere to the more sexualized image in order to garner like mass appeal, as opposed to like people like Taylor Swift or like Dua Lipa,
You can
or
be
like
there with the guitar and still
like I
hit
feel
the
like
same.
if a black girl wanted to become a pop star, it would be a thing. I mean, I don't know what goes on in the music industry, but I feel like it would be a thing where they're looking at you, and if you're not, conventionally attractive, or you're not willing to like, do that, it's a thing where you kind of just have to like adhere your goals or your aspirations, or like maybe I don't want to be a pop star, I can't become a pop star, because I do feel like it is a thing. Like at the same time as these women do have agency, I do feel like it is kind of sad the fact that if you don't want to do that, you probably won't make it. I do feel like it's an issue. Like we are put in boxes, I think. I don't know if people like Cardi B are adding to the problem necessarily. I feel like, I don't know, because I feel like regardless of whether they do or don't, people are still going to see black artists like that. Because I remember when she released Be Careful With Me, and everyone like was complaining or didn't like it as much, or like it was like, I don't know, like because it was like her kind of like, it was like an emotional song, but not emotional, but it was kind of emotional. It was like different tones, like slow down, like talking about Offset cheating on her, whatever, and no one really wanted to hear that. So I do get the fact that like obviously like she's got agency, but I do feel like it's a thing of like, sometimes I think she's even tweeted like, people complain when I don't like, rap about my
body. Oh, okay, let's
and
talk
then
the
I
truth,
do,
A lot of her mainstream singles are literally her rapping about her vagina.
But that's the thing, I feel like it's a thing of like, that's what people want to hear. Like when she does something else, or when she does something different, people are like less excited about it, or like, do you know what I mean? Like the thing where like, I don't know, like it's like at the end of the day, she wants to make money, she wants to feed her daughter and have stuff. And so I feel like Cardi is definitely, I see Cardi as someone who puts money above. Cardi, she is in so many ads, and she will do anything for a check, in my opinion. Like I feel like she is about her bread, like, and I feel like she's willing to do that, that's fine, but I do feel like it's sad that some women may not be willing to do that, and it's kind of like
they won't get a step in. I do think I don't want to attack Cardi B, because I don't think it's Cardi B's fault. I think she should be able to do what she wants. If she wants to be fully naked in front of a magazine, do what you want to.
Yeah.
But I do think it's an issue with society, like that we do need to change. Like we need to have more people that are doing big Reebok collabs, doing big, like that young women see. Because even though as much as I try to say like, oh, these celebrities aren't role models. When I was younger, I used to love Beyonce. Yeah, she wasn't my role model, but I used to like, oh, Beyonce had blonde hair. One day I want to have blonde hair. Like, do you know what I mean? It's what we see.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's equally as we should have Cardi B's, we should have black girls with a guitar singing.
Yeah.
Like we should have, and like even with Chloe and Tally, yeah. Soon as she, and I love it. I love this side of Chloe. Is it Halle or Chloe? Who's
Chloe?
Chloe. I love this side of her. But like that's only what's got her mass interest now. Before it was like they had cult like followers, but they never had mass interest. But now, like, people are hearing of them because she's starting to sexualize herself, and I do think it is really putting us in a box.
I feel like with Chloe though, I feel like I see it, I mean, I don't know, I feel like I see it less as we need, I mean, I think we do need black women doing different niches and ticking different boxes, but I also feel like, for example, like Meg, like, I don't know if she's graduated, but she was like doing her degree at the same time, like at the beginning when she was really starting to blow, she was like in uni at the same time. And I feel like maybe these women, because obviously these women, they're not like, you know, they're not one dimensional. So maybe it's about them kind of like sometimes showing that side as well. I don't know, just to show that you can be sexy and you can be sexual, but at the same time you can like work, or like you can also be like smart at the same time. Like we're not just like
A monolith.
but also like even, you know, Ari Fletcher?
Yeah.
I scrolled all the way to the bottom of this woman's Instagram account, and she has like I think she's like, she used to be like a dental nurse or has a dentistry degree or something, which is crazy. And I was like, oh my God, like it's, but you know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a thing of like, no one is one dimensional. And I feel like I like with Chloe, because it's like obviously she had her whole, like, I can't lie, I never used to listen to Chloe and Halle. But like I like the fact that she has that image and she makes music with her sister, and it's all like, you know, a bit more like alternative, if you want to call it that. But then now she's obviously embodying her more sexual side, and I feel like it's like she can be both. We can be both. We can be two things. We don't have to be just one thing. It's like, I don't know, but I think people just, it's just about like, people like what they, I don't know.
Yeah, sex sells. That's the bottom of it, really. Like, that's sex sells, and people are going to do what sells the most. But I think I just think I would love to see like a more widespread view of black women, because when I meet people, I meet so much different people, like, and it's never this like I say it all the time, I've never met somebody with a BBL, like it's never this image that I'm seeing. But then as soon as I switch on Instagram, I feel like that's the real world. Like I'll be like, oh wait. So yeah, lastly guys, wait, how long have we?
47 minutes.
Oh yeah. So lastly, I was listening to your show yesterday, and you're talking about should mixed race be considered black. Now, you said something that I've made a point not to research about yet, about how you think race is a social construct, it's not a real thing. Can you explain that a little bit more?
So, for example, I did like a race, I do sociology, I did like a race module last term. And basically, there is no biological basis to race. So it's like there is nothing biologically different between white people and black people and brown people, in the sense of like race is like, I don't know. I feel like the best example I can give is just like sometimes you'll see like white people, like for example, there's this case in South Africa where this white couple, they had a black baby, completely biologically, it wasn't like anyone stepped outside or anything, but they just had a black child, and it was called like a genetic throwback basically. And it's just this idea that we're all like the same, like we're all there's nothing like biologically different, if that makes sense. Like race is socially constructed in the sense of, because society functions as if race is real, if that makes sense. But in terms of just like, is it like even like our whole mixed race people black debate, it's like it's a debate that kind of has no answer, because race isn't real, if that makes sense. Because it's I feel like I'm doing such a bad job of saying this.
Like, okay, like if you think of it, I think you're making sense. But if you think of it, like how would you define a black person? You might say, oh, they have dark skin, so there are some black people who don't have dark skin, like say like albino people or like light skinned people, or you say, okay, so then maybe all black people have like broad noses and bigger lips, like that, and that's not true, because you can find black people who have like different features, and it's just a thing of like, there is no like biological black person, or there is no like biological makeup that makes you a black person. It's like society and like white supremacy like has made it that race is like a real thing in the world, that like orders our institutions, it orders our lives, like, but in reality, like what T was saying, there is no biological difference between me and a white person.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, I always use this example, like, you know how like you can have like lots of dogs and they can all be different colors, but no one is looking at these dogs like, oh, that dog is so different to that. Like, it's just a brown dog, that's a black dog, that's a spotty dog, like they're all dogs, but they just look different. Like it's a thing, I feel like when like white people started exploring the world and they were seeing all these different people that look different to them, they started trying to like categorize everyone in these like man-made kind of like boundaries that don't actually like translate to what the diversity that exists. Like, there's more diversity within the black race than there is between white people and black people, or like and I always say this, like, but like Aboriginal Australian people, like the people that are native to Australia, they're really dark skinned. They're like dark skinned, maybe even darker than me, but they're really dark skinned. They have different hair. They don't have like 4C hair. Their hair's like white people hair. Yeah. But it's like, are they black? Are they not black? Because obviously they have dark skin, but they don't have the same hair as us. And it's just like the idea of like,
there's no defined.
You can't really put people. These labels are just like, they don't really fit. Yeah, they don't really fit.
Yeah.
Kind
of. But
of.
that's not to say that like, because of that, race isn't real. Like it's just to say that like this is all constructed, because like in reality, it doesn't matter whether like being black is like a biological thing or not. I'll be treated differently because I am viewed as black. Yeah. So like I think that's like where our conversation came up with like the mixed race,
like racism. I do want to give my 2 pennies about that mixed race thing. I know you that I've already spoke about it. If you haven't listened to it, listen to the latest episode of Minutes. Well, the latest one will be the one I'm on, but the last episode of Minutes of Melanin. I think that mixed race people should just be called mixed race people.
Thank you.
That's it. Like, I don't think that they should have a choice. I don't think if they move a little bit, I think that mixed race should be a race like black is, and I think it should be a race like how white is. Mixed race, you mixed with, and it's a little bit harder to say that because you can be mixed with anything. It could be mixed with Chinese and Australia. That does not make sense. But Chinese and like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, you mixed race, and I don't feel like one person should be able to decide that they're black one day, and like if they want to mix in with white people one day.
I agree, because I just feel like the fact that this is even a conversation is because do you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't debate whether someone who is black or not. But the fact that you can even have a conversation about it tells you that like there is something different there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it doesn't. I'm not saying my take is my final take is like, I'm not saying that you are any less black, or that you can't relate to the black struggle or be discriminated against for your blackness. I'm just saying you're just as much black as you are whatever your other, whatever. And you're just as much black as you are white. You're just as much black as you are Asian. And I feel like it's just a fact. Like, I don't know.
I disagree. I think that like conversations that say that like mixed race people aren't black, or they just like get back into this idea that race is something that is biological, because I feel like if we say like, because I feel like discussions about it, when you say that mixed race people are not black, they're two different things. Like, so then how do you talk about people who like, say for example, have a mixed race parent and a fully black parent? Like,
so that's the law of percentages. So you're more black than white. So I could arguably say you're black then, because you've got more in you. But if you're 50-50, you mix like...
But I feel like they're still mixed either way, and I just feel like a lot of it is like race, because we recognize that race is socially constructed. It's a lot about like how you're perceived to be, and I feel like when we think of like dark-skinned mixed race people who will be treated as black people, say like a Barack Obama or just someone who you'd look at and think is black, I don't have an issue with them saying that they're black, because I feel like you'll be treated as a black person. Like I don't have a problem with it, and I feel like I get the thing of like we need to keep blackness, but I also feel like discussions about whether mixed race people are black or saying that they cannot say that they're black they just to me sound like we're talking about race as if it's a biological thing, and that there is a biological thing in being black that isn't just perception.
I think when it comes to blackness, there's like 3 key aspects that I look at. I think of features, I think of textures, I think of colour. So colorism, featureism, texturism. You're a black woman, so you'll walk into a room, you can see by your hair you're a black woman, you can see by your face you're a black woman. But I feel like mixed race people, you can walk into a room and blend in with white folks with maybe if their hair's a little bit straighter. However, you can have mixed race people who might have like, hair just like mine as well. So that's where I feel like that's a problem for mixed race people, because they don't know where to identify themselves, and I can't come on here and act like I know about their struggle. Never been mixed race, never will be, so I don't know about it. But I think also it's erasing actual black people from like big positions, because you can argue and say like colorism's a real thing, so like black people get affected by it. So me saying that we've got a black president in there, well, no, we haven't had a black president. We've had a half white and a half black president. Like that means that now when there's a real black man up there, he's the second black man. No, he's the first black man. It should be celebrated that it's a step towards progress that mixed race people are in these powerful positions. But if we sort of put that as like, oh, now that's a black person, check box. No, the job hasn't been done because he's not black.
No, I agree with you. I feel like that's another one of my like little like bones to pick with the whole thing, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes white people can put mixed race people in positions and be like, or like, for example, I don't know, I feel like sometimes white people can you'll see like a mixed race person and someone, and everyone's like, oh, this is great progress, blah, blah, blah. It's amazing. Or like even like with the media, like for example, there's this show on Netflix. It's called Family Reunion or something. It's like about a black family, and my brother watches it. He's 9. He's 10. And they're all fair, like they're all really light. I think the mom's mixed race. They have a daughter that's mixed race, even though she is like supposed to be the child of a mixed race woman and a black man. She's like super like white passing mixed race girl.
I've seen. Yeah, she's white.
And it's just
no,
like,
she's black. She's mixed race.
Yeah, like my brother was even like, my brother was even asking like, is she black? And I was like, yeah, she's black. But it's just like, I feel like when you see them as part of like, I don't know, when there's not that distinction, I feel like you see like this show that's meant to be like, oh, like black representation or whatever, but it's not really, because like 50-60% of the cast is like biracial or something. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like it is kind of selling. I don't know, like I feel like I don't know, it kind of just
get exactly what you're saying.
I have a little bit of an issue with that, but I think maybe I don't know, like, and also like this is just talking about how like we understand race in like a Western context. In places like Brazil, some biracial people consider themselves to be white, or you know what I mean, like it all operates differently everywhere. Like especially like in South America, they have complete different constructions of race and color, and I feel like they have like a when white people left, arguably they took like a no race like approach, like a one race approach, like type thing. So it's just, I mean, I don't know, but I feel like, I don't know, like you can call yourself black if you want to, but you still know that I'm not You know what I mean? Like,
I'm never going to take that away from anybody. But then we have people like Rachel Dolezal, because they can tan a little bit darker, they can say that they're black, but they're white. So, like, if we kind of say, like, you know what, it's up to everybody to decide what they want to feel like. They want to feel white one day. They want to feel like... It's kind of like, oh, okay, it's cool to be black. Let's be black today. Oh, racism's in this room. Let's put my white cap on. Like... I have to walk out every day. I'm not a blank canvas. Everybody knows I'm black. So I think it's a little bit of a disservice for some people to be like, no. However I feel, that's how I'm going to call myself. And lastly, I do think that, my mind's gone blank and I hate when that happens. Oh. Black people, no, it's ambiguous. Yeah, I forgot my point. But yeah, I do think that mixed race, we shouldn't like dismiss mixed race people either. Mixed race people have struggles also. So like, say if there was a documentary talking about mixed race struggles and I decided to front it, I would hope there would be an outrage amongst mixed race people being like, she's not appropriate, just like how there was an outrage about Rochelle Humes. So I'm very equal on all sides of the spectrum, but no, mixed race people not black, and that's not a negative, you know.
No, I feel like I just disagree. I think that if mixed race people want to say that they're black or claim their blackness as like their most forefront of their identity, I don't have much of a problem with it. As like, because I feel like, to me, I look at race as like a thing of like how you're perceived to be. So like, if we had like my sister, who's like our third member here, like her granddad is Chinese. So her dad is mixed race. Yeah. But if we look at her, you would look at her and you would say that she just looks like a black woman. Or if you even think of like the Obamas, their daughters, I would unequivocally say that they are black women. Yeah. Even though they are of mixed heritage. Because I think it is about how they're perceived. They'll be treated as black women. Like, even if they're to say, oh, you know, my dad's mixed race, my grandma is white, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you'll be treated as a black woman because you look like a black woman. And I feel like, to a certain extent, that's all race is, like, because if we can recognise that race is socially constructed and there is no biological basis to it, and it's nothing genetic about what's genetically in your parents or biologically, like, in your lineage, but it is a social construction, then I feel like a lot of it, most of it, does come down to how you're seen. Yeah. It's the same way how, like, you know, like some mixed race people, you don't bat an eye if they say the N-word. Say like a mulatto, if she's saying, do you swear on here?
Yeah, I swear.
if she says nigger, no one's gonna be like. But if you see like a Halsey say the N-word, or like, do you watch Bad Girls Club?
Yeah. Kind of.
There was this girl called Winter.
Oh, no.
No, but Winter, she's like a mixed race girl, but she looks white. If she used to say the N-word, we'd be like, even though she's mixed race, because it's like, you look white, so like, to me, you look white, you are white. Like, that's the thing. So
do you believe, I remember what I was going to say. So, do you know, like, people like Obama and that?
Yeah.
They could be children of white men. Yeah. Who they could literally have family nepotism, like, they're still have some sort of form of like advantage in like white supremacy, because like somebody who might be related to them might be like, do you know what, that's my, do you know what I mean? Whereas a fully black person don't have that advantage. Like, they might have a powerful black person connected to them, but they don't have this like white man in a suit to be like, do you know what, bring this person up, unless like it's a super nice person. But if you're related to that person, of course you'd want to see them win. So like, it's easier for them to get into positions of power, and because as equally they are black, we can't just dismiss this white side.
No, I agree that like also. Mixed race people, like unequivocally, like mixed race people who you can see and you think are mixed race, like they will experience like privilege because they look mixed race, because they're light skinned, because of their texturism. What?
I feel like even if you don't look, you can have privilege, like she's saying, like family privilege.
Yeah, like even that, like I feel like mixed race, it's not to deny that mixed race people are privileged in society, but like I feel like it's too much of a blanket statement to say all that is the experience of all mixed race people. I think, and I get why how it might be like easier to be like, okay, you're two things, so you're biracial, blah blah blah. But I just feel like race isn't that easy.
Yeah. when it comes to mixed race people, so off that, do you believe in like the one drop rule and stuff?
I don't like the one drop rule because it's ultimately rooted. It's almost rooted in this idea. It's ultimately rooted in the idea that like black taints anything, but also
it is the truth though. Like if you think about it, blacks, like I'm sure you probably will know more about this than me, but it's a super like the stronger. So say
the
there's a dominant gene, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a dominant gene. So it's true. Even if you have a bucket of paint, one drop of black, it's turning grey.
Yeah.
You have a bucket of black paint, one drop of white, still black. So yeah, with that.
No, but it like you can't celebrate something like that. But I just feel like I feel like that isn't the same thing as mixed race people saying that they're black or wanting to claim blackness.
They're claiming black because they have black in them. It is the one. It's literally.
But it's not, because I feel like the one drop rule is to say that like they're tainted by that.
No, I feel like it's a thing of like they can't claim white. Like mixed race people
can claim white
in like Brazil, but
no,
in
but
the
like
West,
even mixed race people like Halsey, she could say she's white.
Not
And
really.
people wouldn't
But she
find
doesn't
that
call herself
controversial.
white. She doesn't call herself
Or like
white.
even like mixed race
Halsey's
people.
not white.
No, she's
No,
The
she's
girl who
mixed
sings Paper the Plane song. Really?
Yeah, but like even like, so I feel like they are able to claim whiteness. So even if they don't say I am white, in certain spaces they look like Halsey, for example. To me, that's a white woman.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like it's not. It's too much of a blanket statement to just say that, because I feel like when we say things like, oh, mixed race people can't claim white and they always claim black, they never claim. You have one idea of mixed race people in your head. When biracial people, there's such a big spectrum. Like even so we had some feedback from a woman who's like black. She's mixed with black and Asian, and like looking at her, unless you're like looking at her and like, to me, she just looks like a black woman, and I feel like she doesn't fit the mold of what you would think a biracial woman looks like. Yeah. And I feel like there is such what.
I feel like even when you're saying that, you're saying she looks like a black woman, there's some acknowledgement that she isn't fully black. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's a thing of you can still claim it.
Yeah, I can acknowledge that they're biracial, but I feel like if she wants to say she's black, or if she wants to claim blackness as her dominant identity, I have no issue with it.
I don't know. I just think that it's not, the world's not just black and white. So I feel like that's the issue with everybody. Yeah. We shouldn't, and even I need to speak to a mixed race person about this personally as well, because like even mixed race people, they're happy to show that the mixed race, like that lighty girl, that Blasian girl, like they're happy to accept it too. So like I feel like it should be openly accepted. That person's mixed race, that person's black. And it gets really fuzzy because you know what? You have mixed race people, you look at them, you can't even tell that they're mixed race. But they are. That's a fact. Like, that's the fact that the mixed race, down to nobody's perception or anything, the fact is that that person is biracial. So, like, I think I'm a little bit too, like, you know, that's what it is. That's the way I think
that they can be. I just have no issue if they say that they're black or want to say whatever. Like, I feel like, like racial identity, I feel like some mixed race people can legitimately claim blackness in that way.
Do you know what? There's an interview that I watch a lot of interviews. So there's an interview with do you know who Donald Glover is? Yeah. And he was talking about what's so hard about being black is that you walk into a room and you're not a blank canvas. Like, you already have all these like impressions put on you. So like there's certain people who literally can walk into a room and they can look racially ambiguous. So it's like they're a blank slate. Like, no, you don't know what they are. But then you have other black people who you walk into a room and there's already like, you know, stereotypes, like prejudice already pushed onto you. And you know what I mean? So like, I feel like a lot of mixed race people they can be like a blank slate, but I can't be like, one day I want to identify as white today, like I want to just blend in with these white folk and be fine. literally, I'm this is me. I can't change that. So I feel like it's actually unfair for like one type of person to be like, oh, when I feel like claiming this, I'll feel like it. And that's what we are seeing. We see it in people like Mulatto. We see like they only claim blackness when it's relevant for them. She's not even black as shit. I don't know her too much. I don't put energy into her on purpose. Yeah. But like, I just don't like the fact that some people can just pick and choose when it's cool to be black or not.
I feel like that like resentment is legitimate. Like I have that same, that's my issue mainly with Mulatto, is that the fact that before she was so open to be like, I'm not black, I'm mixed race, and now she's like, yeah, I'm black, and I feel like
black power.
But I feel like that is a separate thing than saying to mixed race people, you are not black. Or like, I feel like I feel like I'm able to say that I have a problem with, or I find it problematic that mixed race people can discover their blackness when it opens doors to them, and like claim it when it opens doors to them. But I feel like that's not the story of all mixed race people. Yeah. And I also feel like even if although it's unfair because I walk around and I'm a black woman 24/7 and I don't get to discover my blackness, but I feel like I can't then police someone's journey into discovering their blackness.
You know what? You said that well, you know. You said that well. Truthfully, I could sit down and talk about, like, this is my bag. I love talking about stuff like that. But, you know, we've got to run out of time. So we're going to move on to our last segment, which is a message to. This is where you give a message to a person, an organisation, a thing. So, guys, who wants to start? I look into the camera as well.
Okay, so I guess this is my message is I think Minutes and Melanin would like to encourage members of the black community, if given the opportunity. I don't know, is this controversial? Is this like we're politicized now? But basically, we'd like to encourage you guys, if you are offered the chance to get vaccinated against the coronavirus. I feel like there's a lot of misinformation being spread around about the vaccination, and we need to protect ourselves in the same way that white people are going up to get vaccinated. And I feel like there's nothing to be scared of, there's nothing to be afraid of, and especially when we're already disproportionately more likely to like die from the coronavirus, when we're hospitalized. We're more likely to not be treated properly or cared for in the same way as white people are. It's really important for us to protect ourselves and our vulnerable family members or people that we know by getting vaccinated as a community. So yeah, we just kind of like to encourage you guys to, you know, not be as wary of being vaccinated.
Yeah, I think it's not, we're saying like, listen to us, go get vaccinated. Although, if you want to, but like I think we want you guys to like be informed and to try and source your information from like reliable sources, and not like Instagram text posts or like
WhatsApp podcasts.
Yeah, like as long as you are making a decision that is sourced like reliably, and you're not being led by like this, what do you call it?
Fake news.
Yeah, fake news, or like, because at the end of the day, we only have each other. This government isn't doing anything to protect black people, or and they're not doing anything particularly to make you trust them at this moment. But vaccination is like really and truly our only way out of this. And he was right, when we're hospitalized, we're not treated as well as white people. We're most likely to die if we catch coronavirus. So our message is to people of the black community, please get vaccinated or look into getting vaccinated. If you have the opportunity, do it. If your family members have the opportunity, encourage them to do it. But yeah.
Yes, I love that. I absolutely love that, because I agree with every word. I've been about this pro-vaccination life. I'm ready to get mine as well. So yeah, my message to you this week is to all like these websites who sell like tracksuits and that, but they don't sell them on the same page, and it takes forever to find like a new, do you know what I mean, to find the top and the bottom. Either sell it as a set, because I actually think that if you are charging like £30 for a top and like £20 for the trouser, I won't buy it. But if you say it's £50 altogether, I'll think about it. Do you know what I'm saying? So just either sell them together or at least have it on a related page. Pretty Little Thing, I saw it first, misguided, followed the footprint of ASOS. ASOS does it brilliantly. It like allows you to choose your size. It's amazing. Yeah, but that's been really bothering me recently because I do love a good loungewear set, and sometimes I only can find the top, can't find the bottom, so I have to put it all back. So jarring. So, yeah, I've got a round up there. Thank you guys so much for coming. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you for having us.
What do you call it? Do you have anything to plug or any final words or anything?
So if you enjoyed what we had to say, please follow us on Instagram at Minutes in Melanin, on Twitter at Mins in Melanin, and come and join our little I don't know what to call it, but our little little safe space, and come join in the conversations, and just join us on our journey.
Listen to us on all streaming platforms. Minutes in Melanin. But yeah.
Yeah. So your social media is Minutes in Melanin.
Yeah.
Yep. And the same. Stay subscribing, people. Yeah.
Yes.
So follow the Spotify. Subscribe. New episodes out every Monday of the GenZ podcast. Make sure you catch me on Minutes in Melanin's podcast. And follow everything at Tanika Tamsin, my word. And follow my website, www.tanikatamsin.com, where everything produced by me is there. So, yeah, that is everything. Bye, guys.
This whole story that you were saying as well about, like, girls who like guys who are mean to everyone else but nice only to them. Like, the ability he has in him to be a dick to everyone else, it's coming for you at some point.
Because not every part of the relationship is going to be roses.
Exactly. So it's like, to me, I look for someone, or I value someone who is just nice all around, just because a guy who is a dick to everyone else and only nice to you will one day turn around and be a dick to you.
Yeah. Medium ugly men, you can be comfortable with your man. Like, you know what I mean? They've got to have extra sauce in the way they carry themselves because their face ain't the best. Like, I love them. I think they're great.
What would you class as medium ugly? Like,
Conan from Crept and Conan.
Medium ugly.
And Crept, both of them.